How are all you guys feeling today, man? How are all you guys feeling? 24 hours removed from Shane McMahon being crowned the best in the world. I don't think I've stopped laughing for 24 hours, man. I can't believe it. I can't believe how pathetic, how juvenile, how terrible, how god-awful WWE is. And there'll be someone in the community, there'll be one of these analysts that sits there and says, well, it's entertainment. This is WWE's form of entertainment. Meanwhile, they are embarrassing everything that is professional wrestling. I truly believe these types of people are not fans of professional wrestling, and I don't know why the fuck they're in the industry and the business to begin with. Absolutely fucking terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. I had a completely non-Crown Jewel schedule / script for this show. And now here I'm looking at, most of the stories are aftermath stories, or what happened in the aftermath of Crown Jewel, or Crown Fool, Clown Jewel, Clown Fool, you know, whatever you guys want to go by calling it. I have nothing but Crown Jewel news today. And then I got one big story on Daniel Bryan, which is rather depressing, and it kind of, I would say, answers the question that everybody had on Tuesday night when he tapped clean to AJ Styles. Yeah, we're going to go over that one too. I know you know what I'm talking about. Major story. Even Dave Meltzer talked about it, and he chimed in on how Vince McMahon right now is currently feeling on Daniel Bryan, and a lot of that has to play into what we've seen on Tuesday night. And also with Daniel Bryan opting to sit out of Crown Jewel. So I got a lot to go over, man. We're going to get into it today on Off the Script. This is a very rare episode for the weekend. Part 1 to start on your Saturday this weekend, because we had the fucking Crown Jewel pay-per-view, which is a fucking mess, on Friday afternoon. And unbelievable, man. Seriously, the Crown Jewel pay-per-view review is over 60,000 views. And it's not even in a span of 24 hours as of the time I'm recording this podcast. It's fucking unbelievable, man. You guys are absolutely great. And I knew it was going to be a big deal, and I would be foolish not to cover it. So thank you guys so very much for that, man. We are over 2,300 likes on that video as of right now, man. Only to be enhanced over the next 48 hours. That's when YouTube usually kills off the video. So within the first 24 hours, man, we did 60,000. I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those 100,000 view videos, which I haven't had in a while, man. So thank you guys so very much for all of that, and I'm glad you enjoyed my take on the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. If you did miss it, link will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. If you missed anything else, man, Monday Night Raw, we got SmackDown Live, NXT with the King of Bros. Bro, Matt Riddle made his debut on NXT. We talk about that, as well as the continuation of the Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano storyline, NXT TakeOver War Games taking shape. I give you my opinion on all of that. NXT is live with an NXT UK review. I had a lot of people ask me, JD, how come you're not covering NXT UK? Well, clearly, clown, you are not watching the entirety of the video. It is right there in the NXT review and will be going forward, man. I don't think that show right now is at a point where I need to do a separate review. Plus, I don't want to overcrowd you guys with content when I can get other content out there as far as gaming content and such, because I don't want to make a video on an hour show that really doesn't have any storylines right now. So I'm just kind of bleeding it in to the NXT stuff that we usually see on Wednesdays, man. So if you guys missed any of that, please go and check all that stuff out. I got Crown Jewel previews. I got the Crown Jewel pay-per-view review. Everything you need is in the annotation, man. So please go and check all that stuff out. Follow me on social media, man. At JD from NY206 on Twitter. It is the best place to find me when you want my real-time thoughts and opinions on WWE, like yesterday when we live tweeted during the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So make sure you guys go and follow me on Twitter. Also with Twitter, man, it is the best place to keep up to date on when I upload, because everything that I upload gets directly sent to Twitter, man. So thank you guys so very much for that. Follow me on social media. Also, if you guys want to subscribe down to the channel, you guys can certainly do that as well. Hit that bell. Give that bell the middle finger. We are now over. I just hit 100,000, man. We're already over 100,300. So thank you guys so very much, man. I don't know where you're coming from, but I'm glad you're finding your way over to the channel, man. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that the next 100,000 is a lot quicker than the first 100,000. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, man, you guys can certainly do that. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. I want to shout out some very special patrons, man. We got Josh Ashley. They raised their pledge from $11.50 to $13. We got Peter. He raised his pledge from $1 to $5. We got a pledge from Josh R. Bear. He pledged $5. Matt Scales with a $5 pledge. We got, who else we got here, man? We got Paul Savoy, pledged $5. And if I fuck up your name, I'm a goon. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. Jakari pledged $5. And David Goodman pledging $3, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. If you want to support through the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Got to get this out there, man, because they're paying me to do so, and I absolutely fucking love them, man. Harry's is the official sponsor of Off the Script. Harry's going to give you guys a free trial shave set. And that is free, Free. All you guys have to do is go to our unique link. Use our unique link, harrys.com/script. You're going to enter in your information, and you're going to go and choose what you want. I don't think you have a choice in the color. I haven't done it myself, but I think you get sent automatically any one of these three colors. But what you guys are going to get in the free trial, you're going to get a razor blade, you're going to get a razor handle, a protective case, if you guys like to travel, and you're going to get the foaming shave gel, which soothes and hydrates. Now, I love this, man, because not only is it the best shave of your life, man, I have sensitive skin, and when I shave, I usually have a problem with cutting myself, and this is the best thing about Harry's that I personally love, man. When I shave with Harry's, I haven't cut myself ever, and I've been using it for 6-7 months now. It is easily the most smoothest shave that I've ever had. And the shave gel, which is great. It's perfect for my skin. It smells great. It feels great on your skin. You get that nice little tingling sensation. And then when that blade, slides across your cheek, man, you're good to go. I'm telling you right now, man, you're going to love everything about Harry's. It is one of those things where I tell you every week, I never stamp my name to anything that I don't use or I don't believe in. Harry's is the one thing that I can say I believe in, and I actually use the product, man. So I know you guys are going to love it. And two other things on top of that, man. It's good for the women. If you guys are ladies listening to the podcast, it's good for you as well. You could get it for your husbands, your boyfriends, etc. It also makes a great stocking stuffer for Christmas. Christmas is coming up. It'll be here before you know it, man. People don't even realize Thanksgiving is here. People they jump right into Christmas. So, believe it or not, it's going to make a great stocking stuffer as well. harrys.com/script. Go and get your free trial today. I would absolutely love if you do. It's a great way to support the show, man. Thank you guys so very much for all that. We're going to get to the other stuff that I usually plug later on in the show, man. We got the new 100,000 subscriber commemorative t-shirts. That is on sale right now as well on Barbershop Window. We'll talk about that a little bit into the show. I want to hit the news and rumors, man. I want to get into this Crown Jewel stuff because I feel like I'm not done ranting over this heap of fucking steaming pile of shit that was Crown Jewel. Now, Brock Lesnar. We all know Brock Lesnar should not be the Universal Champion. We all know that WWE probably gave Brock Lesnar the Universal Championship again for a second time because they are comfortable in him being the Universal Champion. It also goes to show you how WWE has failed to build new stars. B, refuses to build new stars. They continue, going back to that same old well and running it dry. And it goes to show you that overall Monday Night Raw is in complete fucking utter shambles at the moment. There's nobody on this show that I'm at all interested in. And I probably, if you held a gun to my head and asked me to pick one guy that I was genuinely interested in on this show, right now, I'm probably looking at a Drew McIntyre or a Dean Ambrose. And a Drew McIntyre because I believe he could be the top guy right now for Vince McMahon, just by looking at him. And he's fucking great all around. And Dean Ambrose because he just turned heel, and right now he hasn't really given an explanation as to why he did what he did on the night that Roman Reigns announced that he had leukemia. But Monday Night Raw in general right now is taking fucking several leaps backwards. And they've been going in this direction for years now, and nobody wants to address the goddamn issues. No one wants to address the goddamn issues. Lesnar giving, or WWE rather, giving Lesnar the Universal Championship, again, is a huge issue, but it's something that I'm trying to look at with a dose, believe it or not, a dose of positivity. This could be good in the interim. This could be good temporarily for the WWE. All I wanted WWE to do was book with the Survivor Series in mind, okay? That's exactly what they did with the outcome of this match. The match itself was fucking miserable, okay? It's ridiculous. It's nothing but Lesnar going in there, F5ing the shit out of Braun Strowman, and he wins the Universal Championship, right? I don't know what they did with the 5 F5s on Crown Jewel for him to win the Universal Championship. This is the same Braun Strowman that he beat with 1 F5 at No Mercy. This is the same shit that we see every single time with Brock Lesnar. It's nothing but F5s. It's the laziest fucking piece of shit match that you could possibly ever concoct for a professional wrestler. But, like I said, I'm trying to look at it with a dose of positivity. Survivor Series is the only thing that WWE should be concentrating on right now. Not Crown Jewel, okay? Not anything else. Not Evolution. Not Super Showdown. Survivor Series is the next big pay-per-view. It's one of the original Big Four. WWE gave Brock Lesnar the championship, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt here, because he is the better match for AJ Styles. And a lot of people loved that match, including me, last year at the Survivor Series. Brock had, we all have this negative feeling when Brock Lesnar enters a wrestling ring in WWE, especially lately. When he entered the ring at Survivor Series last year, I was expecting, okay, we'll maybe get a better than usual match from Brock Lesnar, but it's nothing that I'm going to sit here, a year later or so and still talk about. And that's not been the case whatsoever. And I stated it before we even went into that pay-per-view. If they give me anything like they did, CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, then you're going to have a money match on your hands. And that's exactly what they did. AJ and Brock somehow just worked beautifully together, and I am expecting the same thing to happen here. WWE's not going to do AJ Styles dirty. And Brock Lesnar, hey, out of all the fucking months that he worked where he didn't really do anything, you can offer me 20 minutes to go into a fucking pay-per-view like Survivor Series and give me 20 minutes with AJ Styles. It's not going to fucking kill you. Okay, so I'm expecting the same thing that we got last year. And what we got last year was probably WWE's best main roster match of 2017. And for the fucking clowns who are saying, oh, that match was terrible, maybe you should watch the fucking shows a little bit better, man. Maybe you need eye surgery. Or maybe you're just a fucking idiot. How about that? I don't know anybody, personally, who watched that match who had anything bad to say about that match. Okay? Now, this year needs to be different. Last year, Brock won. Last year, I understand it. Last year, they were pushing Brock as the unbeatable guy, and they were pushing the Roman initiative, and, AJ Styles is not going to beat Brock Lesnar. So, we all knew that going into 2017. In 2018, now I know some of you may be snickering, JD's a fucking idiot, he thinks AJ Styles is going to beat Brock Lesnar. Listen, motherfucker, listen, it needs to be that way. Styles needs to beat Lesnar. I don't give a fuck what you're saying or what you're thinking, who you are. I don't give a fuck at all. Styles needs to beat Brock Lesnar. Okay? Lesnar, if this is an interim thing, if this is a temporary, there's no Roman Reigns clouding the vision here. There's no agenda here. The only agenda here is a possible Brock Lesnar taking the title to UFC, showing up at Madison Square Garden tonight with Cormier Lewis, even though Dana White said that Brock Lesnar's not invited, and then he's invited, not invited. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't even know if he's going to be there, but that is a reason why they gave him the Universal Championship as well right now, to kind of build, and get that cross-promotion with the UFC. But I am hoping that WWE gave the Universal Championship here to Brock Lesnar to better AJ Styles. They need to better AJ Styles here in what, in my honest opinion, is a lukewarm title reign. Brock Lesnar, right now, he doesn't need to be one of those guys that remains he was already beaten. Roman beat him. So if Roman can beat him, Styles can certainly beat Roman Reigns. Styles can beat Roman Reigns any given day of the fucking week. If Roman can beat Brock, then AJ can beat Brock. Simple as that. There's no agenda here. Okay? And WWE could certainly use Brock Lesnar to catapult Drew McIntyre. Okay? That's what needs to happen. Can you imagine Drew McIntyre? I'm not even talking about at a TLC pay-per-view or whatnot. Maybe Drew McIntyre helps AJ Styles win the fucking match. Maybe he just runs in behind the referee's back, Claymore kick, boom, done. At least AJ to get the win over Brock Lesnar. But what if? What if we get Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw, coming out, challenging Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, beats him on Monday Night Raw, we do a hot shot of the championship, fucking, you get this sense of, must see? What happened? Lesnar's on Raw. Lesnar fighting on Raw is, one of those things that, it's like finding the fucking pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It'll never fucking happen. But I would love to see that happen. I would definitely love to see that happen. But I don't think that's going to be the case that WWE goes with. Lesnar, Styles needs to beat Brock Lesnar. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. A very small benefit of the doubt. The reason why they gave Brock Lesnar the championship is because they know that the better match is with AJ Styles. So that's what I'm hoping for. But, after all that, why Brock Lesnar was booked to squash Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel and win the Universal Championship. Dave Meltzer told the match's story on Wrestling Observer Radio after Crown Jewel, and the match was supposed to actually be telling us, he went on and explained what the match was supposed to be telling us, because he was told himself by someone in the company, which was the only way he knew. Because in the end, the announce team didn't do the best job in the world of letting us know what was really supposed to be going on. He says, and I quote, "So this is the story they wanted to tell, with Baron Corbin hitting Strowman in the back of the head with the belt, and Lesnar give him the F5 after F5 after F5 over the top ropes, then finally with the fifth F5, and then he was pinned." So the story was that Strowman was down and out before the match started, and Lesnar's F5 couldn't beat him, no matter how many he did or how many it took to beat him. Most people saw this as, what the fuck? This was a squash match. Why'd he get no offense in? The idea was for him to get no offense in. That was the mentality, because they thought if he got offense, it would weaken him because he got beat. The idea was not that he got beat or squashed. The idea is that he kept surviving the F5 over and over and over again until it was too much, and he had to take one over the top rope and to the floor, which was nuts because he wasn't moving too well before the match even started. Apparently, there's rumor going around that Braun Strowman is walking around with some sort of injury. Whether it's a leg injury, a knee injury, I don't really know yet. Nobody really has clear indication on what that is. Because Meltzer said he walked down the ramp and two things were noticeable. He was moving really slow and you could see he had knee issues. Although that didn't play into this, he's going to be wrestling on this tour, and that's all I could see. The other one is that you could see he's not going to win the championship. It was written all over his face when he walked down the aisle. Now, I wasn't really that observant on it. I just looked at Braun Strowman as being, normal Braun Strowman. Angry, get these hands, Braun Strowman. Meltzer seen differently. The idea was, again, he got no offense on Brock because if he would have gotten offense, the story is, what if it was a fair fight and got offense on Brock? I think a lot of people watching it didn't understand the story, which was not your fault for watching it, because I didn't understand it either until I was told the story when it was over. So the fact is that the announcers didn't tell that story, and that's on them because it's the job of the announcers to get the match over. End quote. I'm going to add on to what Meltzer stated here, or add on to what Meltzer had talked about and was told. Hopefully, this story is being built with, some people want Strowman to take the title off of Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania. I'm telling you, I said this on the Crown Jewel review, I have zero interest. I have zero fucking interest. It's like me being presented a Budweiser and someone buying me a Budweiser as a celebratory gift. JD, thanks for 100,000 subscribers, man. Here's a Budweiser. I ain't touching that shit. That motherfucking shit ain't touching my lips, asshole. Okay, it's like that. I have zero interest in Braun Strowman winning the Universal Championship, fighting Brock Lesnar, or beating Brock Lesnar for the Universal Champion. I don't give a shit. I am over it. So, AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar is already set for the Survivor Series. So, we don't know what's going to happen with Strowman. He may be a part of Team Raw versus Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. Maybe he actually takes time off, which I don't think WWE can afford right now. Can you imagine losing Reigns, Kevin Owens, and Braun Strowman? Those are three of your biggest guys on this show. Monday Night Raw. I don't even want to think about it if Braun Strowman has to go out with injury. So I don't know what they're doing with Strowman, if he's really hurt. But my God, if Strowman is off of Raw, might as well just take the fucking show off the air at that point. But what Meltzer had stated, that it was supposed to be more of an underdog story here. I don't give a shit how they're webbing it to you or how they're spinning their webs to you. I don't care. Okay? Whatever they told you is fucking bullshit. No one is looking at it like that. And if they are, it doesn't matter if you look at it like that. The only thing that we see here, and the only thing that was uttered by people who talked to me personally about it was, wow, Strowman was squashed. That's the only thing just popping off people's heads. Strowman was squashed. You could fucking spin it any way you want. You could talk about him surviving the F5s. You could talk about the pre-match attack. I don't care. He was fucking squashed. And if they're building up something with Strowman and Lesnar further down the line, why would it matter anyway when you fucked the guy over already? It doesn't matter. I said this yesterday. The damage has been done. It's too late. Giving him a shot at the title and having him lose in this way was the nail in the coffin. If he didn't win the title last night, I don't give a fuck about him winning the title, period. The best thing for Strowman right now is to be moved to SmackDown Live. Simple. I have zero interest in them building Braun Strowman up again to fight and take on Brock Lesnar and win the championship. How many of you watching me at this moment can honestly say that you care about Strowman being built up after what we've seen here, the way Meltzer had stated and described? How many of you are interested in seeing Strowman built up to take the Universal Championship over Brock Lesnar? If I was to gauge percentage-wise, I'd say 1% of you watching me give a shit. I'd much rather see that position go to Drew McIntyre. Done. I don't want to talk about Strowman at all. I don't give a fuck how much of an underdog he was, or how many F5s he survived, or what the story was with him surviving 4 F5s before the 5th one killed him. I don't care. I don't care. All anyone sees and all anyone is going to think is that Strowman was buried. Strowman was squashed. And even before this story was told at Crown Jewel, Strowman wasn't the guy. Strowman was never going to be the guy after Roman Reigns. You fucked every aspect of that even being a possibility when you turned him heel. There might have been a little light at the end of the tunnel when he was still a babyface with huge babyface reactions. A little bit. But you didn't capitalize on it. It's one of those things that we'll never know. It's going to be one of those unsolved mysteries. How would Braun Strowman survive on Monday Night Raw? How successful would Braun Strowman would have been as Universal Champion if they pulled the trigger last year and gave him the championship and gave him the ball to run with? We don't know. We're never going to know. And now, since you fucked him since then, and now you're trying to get him back to that point, it's not going to be the same. You had one chance, and you fucked it up. Now, you're going to try and bring him back to that same point. It's not going to feel the same. Then it was organic. Now you're doing it. You don't think people are going to open their eyes to see that it's a little bit forced? Come on, bro. It's over. Time to move on. Give the fucking reins to someone else. Push a new guy. Develop a new star. A new big man. And move Strowman to SmackDown Live. Done. I want nothing to do with Strowman on Monday Night Raw at all. He's got a possible program with Drew McIntyre, and even that I'm not interested in. Get him off of Raw. Done. That's all we see when we look at Lesnar's win last night at Crown Jewel. Squash. You can fucking tell me every which way what the match was supposed to tell. I don't care. It all goes in one ear and out the other. Squash. Done. Why Randy Orton attacked Rey Mysterio after their match at Crown Jewel. Rey Mysterio's WWE return, to me, has not been exciting at all. I mentioned this on the podcast last night. I don't know what it is with WWE. It's like these wrestlers, they come in from outside companies and they walk into the WWE vortex and somehow they're exciting away from WWE, but when they go into the WWE bubble, they don't become exciting anymore. It's like all their excitement just goes right out the fucking window. To me, Rey Mysterio right now, after 3 weeks, he is just like everybody else on SmackDown Live. There's nothing about him anymore that I want to see. I don't know if it's the fact that they changed up his wrestling style or they limited his wrestling style or it's just the same shit over and over again. There's nothing about Rey Mysterio that's emitting excitement to me. So I don't know what it is. But to some, I know not everybody feels the same way I do, which is fine. But Rey Mysterio's WWE return, to some, is exciting. And it's still fresh. And they knew he couldn't win the World Cup Tournament when they booked him going into it. Dave Meltzer explained that a big name by Mysterio's name was crucial in legitimizing the World Cup Tournament, and they did their best to protect him even when losing. He says, and I quote last night on the Wrestling Observer, yeah, they protected, in the fact that Randy Orton destroyed him after his match and he went in weakened. That's the mentality behind it. They thought they protected Rey the same way that they thought they protected Braun. I don't look at it that way. I really don't look at it that way. When I look at Braun, we already discussed this, I see squash. When I look at the way that they did Mysterio and The Miz, it's still a loss. It's still a loss. Did Mysterio play up the fact to his injuries? No, he really didn't. It might have been, a little dash here and there, but Mysterio didn't really play up the fact that he was injured. This is why I mentioned yesterday on the review, if you were going to do a Randy Orton post-match attack like that, first of all, you had Randy Orton lose, which was a mistake in its own right. But if you're going to have Randy Orton lose and then snap, it would have been okay to a point. The way they did it yesterday, they tried, but they didn't get the point across. Orton should have left Mysterio the same way he left Jeff Hardy. Remember on SmackDown Live when he ripped the chain and he smeared the makeup off his face? That's the way they should have did it with Rey Mysterio. That's exactly the way they should have did it. They should have had Rey Mysterio brutalized. They should have had the mask come off and and play up the fact, cover the mask, cover his face. They should have had Randy Orton go in there completely disrespecting Rey Mysterio to the point where he couldn't come out in the second round. Why have Mysterio lose to The Miz and then not play up the fact that he was beaten down after his match with Randy Orton. They didn't play it up enough. So when I look at that, I see another wasted fucking opportunity for WWE. They had Orton lose, and then they had Rey Mysterio lose in the same fucking tournament. One was okay. Two, that's a creative blunder. That's the way I see it. So, they protected Rey Mysterio in their eyes. To me, they didn't protect Rey Mysterio. And by the end of this thing, The Miz beat Rey Mysterio. Clean. I don't give a fuck if he had an injury, quote unquote, or not. Then by the time this tournament was over, what did you really accomplish with Rey Mysterio? You sacrificed Rey Mysterio and a loss 3 weeks into his WWE return for fucking Shane McMahon to win the World Cup. Yeah, some protecting you did. Some protection of Randy Orton, too. These people don't fucking think with a wrestler mind. Or wrestling in mind. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. They've lost their minds. So everything that Meltzer stated here completely is thrown out the window. It makes zero sense. They didn't protect anybody. This tournament was a fucking waste. By the time that trophy was handed to Shane McMahon, you flushed everything down the fucking toilet. Protecting who? So now you're looking at Rey Mysterio with the loss in his third week back in WWE. Great. Randy Orton, all the fucking great work. The one guy that you built perfectly on SmackDown Live. Done. All gone. Now his mystique takes a hit. Randy Orton's going to be okay because he's Randy fucking Orton. But the fact that you had him lose in less than 5 minutes? God, I fucking hate this company, man. I really fucking hate this company. Now, pro wrestling, Meltzer goes on to say, is a unique business in a lot of ways, but protecting someone by beating them down is one of the truly exclusive parts that belongs only to the pro wrestling mindset. Therefore, whether or not it results in a rivalry between Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio, the post-match beatdown from Orton was meant to give Rey a reason why he lost to The Miz to protect his character. And what did they do? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. The Miz beats Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio, and then Shane McMahon wins the World Cup. If Mysterio and Hardy lost and The Miz went on to win the World Cup, then fine. Fine. At least you have validation in the fact, oh, Mysterio lost to the winner of the World Cup. What was the ending of the World Cup? Exactly. Ridiculous. Speaking of The Miz, why did The Miz make it to the finals of the World Cup? Finals of the World Cup tournament was set to be Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz, which surprised the shit out of me because I thought it was going to be Seth Rollins. But WWE went with a heel versus heel dynamic. And up to this point, I was like, you know what? I got to give them some sort of credit for keeping it unpredictable. But it didn't work out that way. Due to a slip on the outside, The Miz was injured and he couldn't perform. In the process for McMahon to win the tournament, WWE had to book things in a way to tell the story they wanted without damaging anyone in the process to great... Oh. We're well beyond that. You've damaged everybody in this tournament. You made a mockery of the whole fucking tournament in just period. You made a mockery of it to the point where this was the first of its kind, I guess, World Cup. No, I don't want to see it ever again. I don't want to see it ever again. And for the people, I brought this up on the podcast because it's common logic. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought of this. The World Cup tournament, right? Shane McMahon is there with Baron Corbin. Shane McMahon's got the World Cup on SmackDown Live. They'll probably end up fighting over the World Cup at the Survivor Series Raw versus SmackDown traditional 5-on-5 match. Which then you'll have some fucking idiot. Well, WWE had a long-term plan involved. WWE was planning ahead. No, they weren't. They had a one-track mind when they booked this shit. And I guarantee you, after the fact, on the plane home back to the States, they were talking about, well, maybe we should put it on the line at the Survivor Series. Talking about where they go next here after Crown Jewel. Going into Survivor Series. Guarantee it wasn't even a thought on their brain before Shane McMahon won the World Cup. So, The Miz was supposed to be in there. Shane McMahon takes his place and wins it. They damaged anybody in that tournament, and it was god-awful. Now, it was explained on the Wrestling Observer radio that The Miz making it to the finals meant that he would be the one to get injured, making him unable to wrestle. So Meltzer says, and I quote, I guess they felt like they didn't want Ray to look weak and quit. They didn't want Randy Orton to look weak and quit. Obviously, they didn't want Jeff Hardy to look weak and quit. So Miz had to be the one to be made to look weak and quit for Shane to go in there. Now, if you really look at it after the fact, Meltzer is probably right. Ray's not going to fucking quit and say, fuck you, Shane, and say, you know what? Go ahead, go in there and wrestle for me. Randy Orton's certainly not going to do that. Jeff Hardy, I can't see him doing that. So, The Miz. So, what WWE, I guess, tried to get across was like, The Miz could potentially be the winner of this tournament. And it would be beneficial for storylines. Because if The Miz won, then that would pretty much give him a reason to ask for a championship match. I'm the best in the world. I'm number one contender. So, instead, WWE, instead of booking The Miz correctly, they put The Miz out there to embarrass The Miz. So what they're saying here, or what Meltzer is saying, and he's probably right, he's probably within WWE's mindset, The Miz is not a Rey Mysterio, The Miz is not a Randy Orton, The Miz is not a Jeff Hardy. That's understandable. But the fact that The Miz is an 11-year veteran, has worked his ass off just as much as anybody else, and is someone that could benefit from something like this, you're just rather, instead of giving him the World Cup and a good storyline to follow, you want to make him an embarrassment instead because he isn't a Randy Orton, a Rey Mysterio, or a Jeff Hardy? I don't understand this shit. Why even do the tournament to begin with? I don't understand their logic. They're looking at this tournament, and instead of making it feel special, they book it in mind, well, who can we embarrass least and give the World Cup to Shane McMahon? Meanwhile, The Miz is treated nothing more than an afterthought, or treated like nothing more than an afterthought. Absolutely ridiculous. It should also be noted how The Miz kept screaming how he was never injured before. Therefore, that could be something WWE wanted him to say to help tell the story as well. But for whatever reason, Shane McMahon won the match. Now, Shane McMahon won the World Cup. Do you want to know why he won the World Cup? Because I got news on that too. Apparently, his win was not only meant as a way to shock fans. Said it yesterday. This company doesn't book with storylines in mind. They book for retweets, they book for likes, they book for social media presence, they book for YouTube views, Instagram likes, shock value to get people talking. They don't book with a wrestling mentality in mind. They don't book for the best interests of their television show. They book to troll. His win was not only meant as a way to shock fans, but also to start a very interesting character transition, which might take time to fully develop. So, Meltzer stated, so the idea is that Shane is going heel, and The Miz really wasn't hurt. This was all booked to be what it is, the beginning of a Shane McMahon heel turn. You know as far as why you want another heel McMahon authority figure on a show, I guess it's a response to the declining ratings of SmackDown. So, here we go. Typical WWE, they feel the show is floundering. Let's get a McMahon back on the show, because when a McMahon is associated with the TV show, then the ratings somehow seem to go up. Like Solomonster says, when the ratings seem to tank, they throw up the fucking bat signal, and Vince McMahon comes out from wherever he's hiding. Same thing with Shane. They're doing the same thing with Shane here. SmackDown, apparently the ratings are suffering, and they're calling out for the bat signal, and Shane McMahon's going to come out and pretend he's fucking Bruce Wayne and save Gotham. I don't understand how this is going to help SmackDown Live. This is not what you need to do to build SmackDown up as a must-see television show. We don't give a fuck about an authority figure on these shows. I see too much Corbin, I see too much Angle, I see too much Paige on these shows. Paige is probably least featured compared to Angle and Corbin. So I can tolerate her a little bit more. Why do we need authority figures running rampant on these shows? Why do we need everything to revolve around the authority figures on these shows that take spotlight away from the fucking people that are actually in the ring? I don't understand it. How many times do you see William Regal on these shows? We've seen William Regal more in the last couple of weeks because he's needed on the fucking show. Aleister Black's got an attacker running around who's unnamed. You got a main event scene with Ciampa and Dream, and then everybody else wants a fucking shot at Ciampa. You got Undisputed Era and Ricochet and War Raiders. Pete Dunne just fucking causing chaos all over the place. Of course William Regal needs to be there. He's there to restrain order on the fucking show. He's not there willy-nilly, just the show centered around him. I don't understand why we can't get an authority figure that plays background to what's really going on TV. No, their creative writing is fucking terrible, that's why. So Shane McMahon's got to come back, or WWE feels like Shane McMahon needs to be there because he's a fucking McMahon, and McMahon's usually bolster the ratings. No, get your fucking creative writing in order. Give me better television. Give me fresh television. Give me television that doesn't repeat itself every fucking week. Where's Almas? Did he go missing again? What happened? I don't understand how difficult it is to book a 2-hour fucking show and make it entertaining. This is one advantage you have over Monday Night Raw. You are at 2 hours, and you still can't make the show entertaining. They got away with it because Daniel Bryan didn't want to fly to Saudi Arabia. So they started off hot this week with a World Championship match. When was the last time you seen that? But this is the same shit every fucking week with these shows. Monday Night Raw is the fucking biggest fucking victim of this shit. SmackDown Live is like, well, whatever Monday Night Raw could do, we could do worse. And vice versa. It's like they're feeding off each other in the worst fucking way. It's like the dumb kid in class cheating off the dumber kid in class. Why aren't you watching NXT and the way they're doing things? Do you ever watch NXT and feel a sense of repetitiveness? Yo, let me call William Regal. The show's been fucking sucking lately. Let me call William Regal. He's gonna save the fucking show. Get the fuck out of here. On Monday Night Raw sucks. Let me call Stephanie McMahon and have her fucking gargoyle her way down to the fucking ring. I created the Evolution, women's rights, and all this other fucking bullshit. Breast cancer awareness and fucking 20-minute segments handing titles to these fucking goons in the ring. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Enough of this pandering, enough of this fucking self-promoting, fucking nauseating garbage. Shane McMahon winning the World Cup is a fucking embarrassment to WWE. I don't give a fuck if you have a long-term plan or not. The long-term plan to turn someone heel should be for a fucking guy that you see on TV every week. You have to be fucking out of your mind to have a long-term plan for Shane McMahon to turn heel. Who gives a shit? Jesus fucking Christ. The long-term plan should have been to turn Bobby Roode or someone like Bobby Roode heel. Where's that? The long-term plan should be you building up Almas to be a world title contender. Go back and watch what he did in NXT in his run with Vega. How could you have that on your main roster and your priority is making Shane McMahon a fucking heel? Why wasn't Almas in the World Cup? He's Mexican. No, but you got fucking 7 Americans in the fucking tournament. You mean to tell me Almas wouldn't have been a good winner for the World Cup? No, but Shane McMahon, our priority is to turn him heel. This company is a fucking failure. You could know me, you could hang out with me, you could fucking hate me. This company, you could fucking look at me like you could look at me sideways. with half the shit that I say. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm right. Your priority on SmackDown Live is to make Shane McMahon a fucking heel. Meltzer went on to explain that the plan for the World Cup Tournament was always for McMahon to jump in and win it. So they booked this tournament with McMahon. According to him, he was the guy slated to win it all this time. Guys like Mysterio and Rollins were protected in the finishes because Rollins was cheated and Mysterio got a post-match beatdown from Randy Orton, so he was extra weakened by the end. You know, this is their logic. This is WWE's logic. Well, we did this to ensure that everybody else was protected, so we're right. Meanwhile, they don't look at the ending. They're saying that to justify their actions by giving Shane McMahon the World Cup. Oh yeah, we protected them, but the plan was always for Shane McMahon to win the World Cup Tournament. No, the way I interpret that is, well, we're going to use these 8 guys as fucking puppets, and we're going to embarrass them by giving a fucking 54-year-old commissioner of SmackDown Live, a non-active performer, the World Cup to be called the best in the world. You shit. You took a fucking steaming wet dump on everything that is not only who is in this tournament, but the word professional wrestling. You spit in the face of this sport by hyping it up to be something that it was really never going to be. And then you gave Shane McMahon the fucking World Cup as if he's the best wrestler in the world. How does that even equate? How does that even equate? I'm flabbergasted with this nonsense. As WWE moves into their Fox Sports deal in October next year, they want a heel McMahon on the blue brand. I don't know who the fuck they is, but whoever they is, they need to fucking move far away from anything creative in this company. So it looks like WWE is getting the ball rolling on that about a year in advance. So we could be seeing a slow burn for Shane to take a walk on the dark side. This is downright fucking laughable. It is fucking laughable. This company is so ass, but dude, I swear to God, if I am, for all the people that want to say, well, they all go to WWE because they want to get paid. They want to get, if I'm a guy like Almas or a guy like Rusev, I'm sitting in the back and I'm feeling a certain type of way, man. I really am. This is absolutely fucking disgraceful. Why am I in why am I in this fucking industry? I'm one of the best wrestlers on the fucking planet, and I'm not featured in a tournament that's crowning the best in the world, and then I gotta watch Shane McMahon win the fucking World Cup and be called best in the world. To a guy like Almas, what do you think a guy like Almas is thinking? After being off TV, and then on TV, and then in nothing but mixed tag team matches, a few matches here with Daniel Bryan, a few matches here with AJ Styles to get his feet wet, right, to see what he's all about. Right? I didn't need matches with AJ Styles, motherfucker. I didn't need matches with Daniel Bryan to see what the fuck the guy was about. Go back and watch his match with If I didn't even know how to pronounce the fucking guy's name, if I'd never seen him before, and you showed me that match with Almas and Gargano in Philadelphia, man, that guy would be on my roster, number one, that moment. That moment. Who do you want in WWE to be your number one pick? That guy right there. That guy right there. Oh, why isn't he on TV? Why? Because he don't speak English? Huh? He don't speak English? McMahon? What's the reason? This is a fucking joke. I could go on and on and on about how this is just fucking god-awful in every sense of the word. A heel McMahon is going to save your fucking show. Right? You've done nothing to save this show, period. You're reaching into a cookie jar with nothing but fucking morsels. I hope you fail at everything that you do, really. I hope these shows bomb. I hope the stock continues to fall. Then they'll learn. But with the backlash that this show is receiving, I think right now we're off to the races as far as everything just going down, 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 and continuing to go down for this company. And like I said, they deserve every negative backlash coming their way from this show. Completely miserable, bro. What is not miserable, man, is the sale going on right now for Barbershop Window. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. You guys can get 20% off your t-shirts, man. Every order you order on Barbershop Window, you're going to save 20% off by using that coupon code, man. We got the new 100,000 subscriber commemorative t-shirt. It is available right now on Barbershop Window. Go and get it, man, today. Thank you guys so much for your recent orders. If you guys want a close-up of the shot there you go, man. 100,000. Celebrate with me, bro. Celebrate. Go buy a t-shirt. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. That is the new design. That is absolutely fucking beautiful, man. You guys will get it in less than a week. Or actually, it'll take about a week's time to get to you, man. But you guys go out and support, man. It's the absolute number one best way to support the podcast. So celebrate with me, man. That's all I got to say. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript for your 100,000 subscriber commemorative milestone t-shirt, man. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. We got two more stories here, man, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to keep it short. Sunday will go long because I got a lot of post-evolution news that will make you even more nauseous. Triple H was the big story, the other big story outside of the embarrassment that was the World Cup and Brock Lesnar winning the Universal Championship for the second time. How Triple H got injured at Crown Jewel. Dave Meltzer discussed Triple H's injury during the Wrestling Observer radio show where he explained which spot it was where Hunter was injured. It turns out that although the table bump, thanks to a chokeslam from Kane, couldn't have felt good, he was actually injured earlier in the match. Dave Meltzer went on to say, and I quote, Triple H has what appears to be a torn right pectoral muscle. He got that, I think, from the Harley race bump where he went and hit the turnbuckle and went over the top rope. That's what I thought. He came back in the match, and it was a mess, end quote. It's never a good thing to get injured if you're a pro wrestler, but if it's worse, if you end up hurting yourself during a big show, especially if you have a spotlight on you like Triple H did in the main event, you know, it really can't feel good. But everybody's been uttering the same sentiments, man. You know, if that was anybody else, they probably would have stopped the match, pulled him from the match. Worst case scenario, like I said, stop the match. But this is Triple H, man. He's got clout over everybody, so. You know, being that he is in a position where he is as far as the company goes, and that match is a match of that magnitude, even though it wasn't really that good, you got to give it to the guy for having balls of steel, man. I don't know how anyone could get injured 5 minutes into the match and continue wrestling through 30 minutes of that motherfucker. I don't know, man. He may have injured it worse. He may have sustained multiple injuries because of that shit. But you got to give it to Triple H for having balls of steel and remaining in there while hurt. So, you know, when people want to say, you know, oh, Triple H is this, Triple H is that, you know, I will never, ever, ever, ever in my lifetime take anything away from the man because, A, I love what he's done with NXT, and B, as a performer, man, the guy is absolutely fucking, you know, he is selfless in some ways, and in this case, he could have said, fuck it, and he stayed in there. That takes guts, man. That takes fucking heart. Triple H got that. It's never a good thing to get injured if you're a pro wrestler, but even worse if you end up hurting yourself during a big show. He had the spotlight on him at Crown Jewel. Hopefully, he'll be able to rest up and be ready for WrestleMania. There's only one more match that I want to see Triple H wrestle, and that's it for both Batista and Triple H. That is the end. You know, the Rock ship has sailed. Don't want to see it. Don't really care. Batista and Triple H is the only match I care for, and that should be it for both men by far. Done. So only time will tell how he feels getting back into the swing of things at WrestleMania season, or when we'll be seeing him in the ring again. If I am to say I don't want to see Triple H in the ring, period, at all. There's only one more match for him, and that's Batista. I don't even know if that's going to fucking happen at this point. Odds are we'll be seeing Triple H wrestle for WrestleMania because he's got to have his obligatory WrestleMania match every single year. But that's how we got hurt. I didn't really know what it was. Even WWE.com, they posted something on Twitter that stated that Triple H did tear his right pectoral muscle, so they made light of it And he may be getting surgery this weekend when he gets back to the States, man. So good luck to Triple H in getting back healthy once again. As far as that match goes, man, that match was completely just a complete shit show. Shawn Michaels wrestled circles around everybody. The Undertaker looked good in some parts, but I mean, we've been saying the same thing about the Undertaker for years. You know, he looks gassed, he looks winded, he looks old, he looks like he's moving slow. But in some moments, he looked good. You know, good enough for me to state, honestly, that if you were to put Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker in a match, one-on-one, I'm all for it. Shawn Michaels wrestled circles around everybody at 54 years old. So he looks like he has a lot more left in the tank compared to his buddy, Triple H, Undertaker, and Kane, collectively. But as far as Shawn Michaels is concerned, I'm all for him having a few one-off matches, man. He looked good enough to be to go for another 6 months. That's just my honest opinion. I know at the end of the match, he was sitting with Triple H in the corner and said, "Man, we're too old for this." No, you're fine. You may be old, but you can still go. There's some gas left in the fucking tank. You ain't on knee yet, bro. You know, Triple H may be done. Triple H may be done for sure. So we'll see what happens with that, man. Finally, we're going to end with this. There is a big sign that Vince McMahon has lost interest in Daniel Bryan. Now, after Tuesday, a lot of people, including me, wondered that with Daniel Bryan losing clean and with Daniel Bryan tapping out to AJ Styles, was it always going to be the planned finish for Crown Jewel? Or did WWE switch up their plans and punish Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live because he did not want to make the trip to Saudi Arabia? Now, a lot of people said, I don't think it's punishment. I think it was the way it was supposed to end anyway. And maybe Joe was supposed to interfere in the match in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. We really don't know. It's one of those, what if situations. And we don't really know. But I looked at it like possible punishment. But then again, with Samoa Joe interfering, maybe Daniel Bryan, Joe, and AJ Styles are going to kind of work their way into the top of the card on SmackDown Live. Maybe this is going to be the way going forward. We don't know. Now with Survivor Series coming up, it looks like everything's going to be stalled for Raw vs. SmackDown. So they're going to build some type of, forced competition between the two brands that wasn't there all year, but now has to appear out of nowhere for 3 weeks to lead into Survivor Series, which I fucking hate. But I didn't really think much of it until Dave Meltzer discussed this on Wrestling Observer Radio. Now, Daniel Bryan wasn't at Crown Jewel, and he won a 2-minute match against The Miz at Super Showdown to earn a title shot. Instead, Bryan decided not to travel to Saudi Arabia, so WWE booked the match to take place on SmackDown Live before they were set to fly around the globe for the event. Now, during the conclusion of the match, Bryan tapped out to Styles, and it was the calf crusher that did it, and it raised a few eyebrows across the WWE universe in the process. Meltzer discussed this booking decision from WWE on Wrestling Observer Radio this week, where he explained that while he doesn't know specifically in Bryan's case, he does know how Vince McMahon's mindset operates around babyfaces submitting, especially on television. And I quote, "Whatever Tuesday was or wasn't, the only person who knows is Vince McMahon, because that was Vince McMahon's call to make him submit. All I know is Vince's mentality to babyfaces submitting on television. And again, I can't even remember when is the last time one of the top babyfaces submitted. I know some people will go, oh, he's not a top babyface, he's a mid-card guy, which in fact, if you watch the booking, he kind of is, but he is certainly not paid like a mid-card guy." That's the one thing that may be the savior in this, and maybe that will turn Vince onto Daniel Bryan, but he compared, maybe this is the savior in that is, will Vince turn him into what Bill Watts did with Brian Pillman on a much higher level, in the sense of spite him, even though I'm paying you to be a top guy, you ain't a top guy. I'm just going to spite him. I guess time will tell what will happen next. So then it gets into the discussion, does Bryan even care? Does Bryan, care to a point where he's going to be upset that he's being booked in mediocre fashion? Or is he just happy to be back in the ring and doing what he loves? Yeah. There's a part of him that is fucking gracious and fortunate enough to be back in the ring with the company that employs his wife, that's given him the life that he has now. Yeah, there's a part of him, but also, he wants to be booked correctly. Daniel Bryan's not going to sign with the WWE for all this amount of money just to sit on the fucking sidelines and be kind of flatlined through all the years of his contract. You want to find success. You want to find success that you had back in the day that was taken away from you unfairly. Now, if WWE is signing Daniel Bryan just for the sake of keeping him away from success somewhere else and then fuck him over, what does that tell you about the way these people operate? That they're scummy fucks. I would never in my fucking entire life sign a guy like Daniel Bryan to the amount of money that I'm sure they're paying him and not utilize his services. That is this company is for the pro wrestler, right? This company is for the pro wrestler. This company loves professional wrestling. Yet you want to see Kenny Omega come to the WWE. I can't think of anything more fucking feeble-minded. To sign a guy like Daniel Bryan to all this amount of money to stay with us so he don't go anywhere else and bring a level of competition into the indie scene that we've never seen before in the current state of wrestling today, just to keep him away, and we keep him with us for all this exorbitant amount of money, just to fucking spite him, to punish him. Oh, you had thoughts about going somewhere else. You ain't with us. Oh, you didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Oh, you ain't with us. You ain't for the betterment of the company. You don't have the company's mindset in mind, or the best interest in mind. So they punished him? Now, we don't really know this for sure. This is all speculation. But it's not difficult to see why so many people raised this question. Even I did, immediately. I hope that's not the case. WWE has a gold mine in Daniel Bryan. How this guy is not at the top of his game on SmackDown Live, or at least on his way there, is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Daniel Bryan needs to be in the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. Simple. Daniel Bryan should win the Royal Rumble, or at least be in top contention to win the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan should captain Team SmackDown Live. I don't understand why they got this guy and they're paying him and he's nothing more than a mid-card guy. I hope this is not the case. I hope there's better things in store for Daniel Bryan. I hope there's a fucking light at the end of the tunnel for Daniel Bryan. I hope he gets back to being the main guy that they believe in. I think he's done a pretty damn good job at keeping himself fucking healthy. And if that is I guess if that is casting doubt over WWE, that should be kind of dissipating. Week by week, month by month. The guy's keeping himself healthy. The guy looks great. The guy looks like he hasn't missed a beat. And you're not utilizing his services. You're only keeping him with you because you didn't want him to go anywhere else, and now you're spiting him? You're wasting him? Paying him and wasting him? So poor money management, fucking idiot mindset, and then you got one of the best wrestlers in the world and you're not using him. A guy that could certainly make your fucking show better if you book your shows correctly. Nah. Fuck him. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? It's WWE at the end of the day. We're making $7 billion. Who gives a fuck about Daniel Bryan? Fuck this, man. I'm getting out of here. That's your Off the Script this week, man. Episode 246, part number 1 on your Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow with the rest of the news. I got a lot more to cover. A lot of post-Evolution news. We got a lot of stuff coming out of Evolution, man, so don't miss it. So you're going to be right here for Off the Script, part 2 on Sunday. There may be a part 3 on Monday. I'm not really sure yet. I'm going to try and bang out everything unless more news breaks this weekend, which I'm sure it will, coming out of Crown Jewel. But thank you guys so very much for everything, man. You guys are great. Thank you for all the support. Please go and check out my final sponsor, man, Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Use your coupon code. I'm all fucked up, man. There's no coupon code. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go to the link. Use our unique URL and sign up. You're going to get 30 days of Audible for free, and you're going to get one free audiobook of your choice. So that is the one of the best ways to support the show as well, man. You're going to get something for free for literally doing nothing. And if you guys have already signed up, man, you guys can give it to your folks. You guys can give it to your girlfriend's folks, some coworkers, some classmates. Spread the gift, man. Give the gift of Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys got over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related. And you guys got a bunch of genres to choose from. Just not wrestling, man. Cooking, politics, romance, sci-fi, sports, you name it, man. All on there. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys get your t-shirts. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use your code BSHOP20 for 20% off. Get your 100,000 subscriber commemorative tee. Harry's.com/script. And then follow me on social media, man. JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notification if you guys want to support the podcast. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all on Sunday for part 2. Until then, enjoy your Saturdays, and I'll see you right back here. Same time for part 2 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.